They took my plate. I'm going to bite now. I'm not talking to the great aunt, and I'm not talking to my brother, and I'm upset with my husband, and I'm going to slap my kid.
So what you're basically saying is that all about consciousness.
You still have a car, doesn't matter. You still have trains, you still can get to the destination you want. Let it go. Let it go.
Help people to start thinking before you raise your hand and you slap someone, even if you don't agree, it's probably not a good idea. Hi, Yael. It's great to see you. I'm happy that you happen to be here in Moscow, because I really wanted to discuss with you the view of what's happening right now in the world, especially in the closest millennium. We did a video for our YouTube channel about 2023, but I really wanted to ask you, as my Kabbalistic astrology teacher, to ask your view on where we are actually going with all the changes that happened in 2023. Because you mentioned, and I also spoke about, that year has been an important corridor year, and that from 24, life is not going to look the same. So can you please describe, maybe like in one word, the main consciousness of what's going to happen in the next year to come?
Well, as you mentioned, that's what we talked about, right? It's a whole corridor year. Corridor year means obviously there is a shift from before and after. And as we're gonna, soon discuss, all the transpersonal planets, they are moving from something very heavy, very material, very materialistic, to an era that is extremely not materialistic, because it's all the idea of thoughts and consciousness. And as you know, we both Kabbalah teachers, and all the Kabbalists have prepared us really for this era where people cannot any longer just think about their own needs, their own little car, their own little house, their own little neighborhood. Everybody is really forced to get out of themselves and take a look at the world as a community, as opposed to having, like very small communities everywhere. It's the world that becomes my community. But obviously, it's going to be a whole process. Yes, we're not going to jump into it immediately. There's going to be all kind of different, almost stops in that train that leads us to that. So definitely, as you mentioned, corridor year.
So let's discuss it.
Okay.
So Yael, what period of time are we living right now, and what can we do?
Right this moment, as we speak, Pluto, planet Pluto, is in Capricorn. It's in an earth sign. We have planet Uranus, that is also in an earth sign, and planet Neptune, which is in Pisces. So why am I particularly getting attached to Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune? Because these planets are called transpersonal planets. What does it mean, transpersonal planets? They are in the outskirts in our solar system. So these are like the furthest planets away from us. And because they are located so further away, they actually affect and influence great masses of people. Those three are actually in the next coming 4 years moving into signs that, instead of being earth, water, which we know in Kabbalistic astrology are very heavy elements, they are moving to much lighter elements or no weight elements. As we have Pluto moving to Aquarius, which is air, we have Uranus moving into Gemini, again air, actually in our system the air of the air, and Neptune moving from Pisces, the last of the zodiac, to Aries, fire, again no weight. So we have all the transpersonal planets that are moving to signs that have almost no weight. So we go from a status of weight, right? What does it represent? Like Earth, right? Earth represents material belongings. Earth represents, in our vocabulary, kingdom, malchut. everything that has gravity, right? Everything that has gravity, everything, that is material, everything we can touch, sit on, things that are tangible, right? So we are moving from tangible belongings, ownership, earth, materialism, to a place where it doesn't work anymore. All the transpersonal planets are telling us, what is this weight? Why are you carrying your, sofa, television, car, buildings? What are you carrying on your shoulder? Humanity, we are evolving towards something that is no longer material and tangible, but becomes immaterial, okay? Or cancel the material. And I remember our teacher, Rav Berg, already in the 80s, making a very important status about antimatter, right?
That's right.
So we're evolving from matter to antimatter. What cancels the matter? And what cancels the matter? Consciousness. Consciousness. How do we elevate everything? Consciousness. We all know in a very simple manner, because these are heavy concepts, but in a very simple manner, you can have 3 people that are witnessing the same scene, and the 3 of them are going to give you completely different accounts of what happened and what changed. Their own consciousness, their own vision, their own filter. That's what shows the scene in 3 different ways. There are many movies about that, like thrillers, where you have like a murder that happened and 3 witnesses that are giving you like 3 completely different accounts. And then in the end of the movie, they show you the scene from what angle really it was shot. So now we come to the angle that is much higher, and then we are capable of looking at everything that's going on really. It's Aquarius, right? The Aquarius, it's humanity, it's the big picture.
So what you're basically saying is that, we're already witnessing that more and more people come into realization that it's all about consciousness. That it doesn't matter how much I have in my bank account, how many possessions do I have, or how many degrees do I have in studying and learning. People come to a realization that it's all about consciousness. And most of them come and ask me, what can I do right now? Like, what is my next profession? Where is my profession can involve some sort of being a spiritual teacher? Our consciousness is shifting right now, but we cannot come to the point that everybody going to be spiritual teachers. Yeah, so how are we to deal with that? Matter disappears, it's not important for us. Consciousness is rising, but everybody wants to be the ones to share the consciousness. And it can come to, a lot of talking, a lot of information. How do we balance that? What awaits us in the future in that angle?
Okay, in a very interesting manner, there is the book of Isaiah. There's books of prophecies, all the prophets, etc. Isaiah's vision about our era was that there no longer will be teachers, rather each person will teach another person. So we are slowly evolving to a place where everyone can become your teacher. Every person, you can learn from. And something very interesting, actually, because you talked about, universities and the way to study. So a few people came up with the idea that, universities are very expensive. In many, many places, universities are very expensive. When you go, the minute you finish and you have a degree, you have like debts for the near foreseeable future. So they came up with this idea of university for the people, where everybody can just, register, they pay a little fee, and they can get online any degree that they want. A law degree, nursing degree, any degree that they want, they can get almost for free online, and it's open particularly to places in the world where, people don't even have an access to university. Let's think, remote places in Africa, remote places in Asia, where there's a lot of poverty, right? From there, as long as they have a computer, they can now sit down and access knowledge and get themselves, a diploma, a certificate, something that they can actually make a good living with. And even more than that, we can see that in the world, many professions, many manual professions are being replaced by artificial intelligence. They are being replaced by robots. And so everybody is, of course, a little panicked about it because we're asking, okay, wait a second.
What are we going to do?
Yeah, totally. Like, what are we going to do? What is left for us, yes? If we are not doing any work and if we are replaced. The only thing that is left for us, consciousness. Alter, improve, upgrade your consciousness. Consciousness. What is only left for us? Become divine. We come from the light and we have to go back to the light. So now all the events, all the cosmic events, which are followed by physical events, are leading us to become divine. You know very well that the Kabbalists say, what is the definition of human? Right? What's the definition of a human? Human, it's defined by the animal which can stand. The animal which can stand. What does it mean? A, we stand. Yeah, you're going to tell me, okay, some gorillas stand. Okay, they stand, but they stand for 5 minutes, okay? They're not standing and they're taking a bag on their shoulders and moving in the jungle, right? They just stand for 5 minutes. The animal that can stand, it means a couple of different things. It's physical posture. Stand means our feet are in the ground, in the malchut. Our head is with the divine. So we are in both places. We are on the ground and we also with the divine. And the animal that can stand, the explanation is also, we can change levels. If I stand, my posture can stand taller and taller, right? So we can access different worlds, different consciousness, and only human being can do that. Animals are not capable, of accessing different consciousness. They have instincts. They are gifted with, certain divine gifts too. They have, some form of a soul, a spark, right? But they cannot access other realms, such as humankind, right? So now what is left for us? Stand. Stand. Your feet are in the ground, but your head is with the divine. It's in the clouds, it's higher. So I think this is what, what is it? Really, the cosmos has been expecting us to do for millennia. And gosh, we are so slow. As humankind, we are slow learners. But we're getting there.
So does it mean what you explained really beautifully right now, that from one side we are standing on the ground in this physical matter? It means also that we can create physical things here that are also, they're also necessary. You cannot just live in your mind. You still need to eat. You still need to have a pillow and a blanket, what it's called, a place to sleep. So does it mean that our ability to make things in this material reality is going to increase? It's going to be like we're going to have more thought about what we do. Because, for instance, there are many gadgets for the phone. Do we need them? I'm not sure. It's great we have a phone, but do we need gadgets for the phone? Yes, it's probably more comfortable. comfortable for people to use, like headphones. But maybe this era also going to bring consciousness into people's mind while they're making something to bring more use for people, for communities, for a person himself than just like some new adventures. What do you think about it?
Absolutely. Well, I think that because we are in like a hybrid time, right? We can qualify the moment that we are in as hybrid. We are already not where we were, but we are not yet where we should be. So obviously you have all these companies that promote technologies that are trying to sell us all kind of things. Yes, we're still a little bit of an animal. Yeah, we like things that make us feel good, etc. and so forth. That's more the animal in us. But, I've read and actually heard from many people that work, in whose work is in technology, etc. By the way, like there already exists a phone that is like a hologram, that is holographic. They already have it. They already have a template where you have something in your belt, and when somebody calls, tack, you see their 3D picture. It already exists. What's happening at the moment is that people are trying to make money. Yeah, what you gonna do? Companies are trying to make money, so they sell you a lot of gadgets, and we're still kids, right? Rav Ashlag expressed that, for humanity to mature, it's like for fruit to mature. The fruit goes from green and very bitter to becoming yellow, like a lemon, yeah? Yellow and sweet, right? So we are in this evolution and maturity. And the difference is that we were always a victim of the matter. In the previous millennia, we were a victim of the matter. And you know that very well because a lot of people have had a lot of successes, have made, successful exits and made a lot of money. Technically, we don't control what happens afterwards. Many times, like 90% of the time, the minute a lot of money comes to a person, a lot of power comes to a person, they start acting weird. Why is that happening? Because the matter controls them. They are not controlling the matter. And all that we are, our dialogue of today is to show that we need to control the matter. So, of course, we're going to need matter. The animal still needs to eat, the animal, which is the body. The soul is divine, right? So the animal needs to eat. The animal needs to sleep. The animal needs to walk, needs to run, needs to have good exercise. Yes. That will always, be there, right? But we are not going to be a victim of it. Like you have people that if they don't have exactly the food that they need, wow, it's a crisis. If it's not exactly the pillow that I need, wow, another crisis, right? So I think we need to mature a little bit more and see things in a much more spiritual manner. And, if you are aware, and you are aware because you're a Kabbalah teacher too, but the Kabbalists express that, true Kabbalist is someone that is capable to control the matter. It's capable to elevate the matter and realize that the matter, in fact, it's energy. Einstein expressed that in the famous equation, years ago in the 20th century, the beginning of the 20th century. Mm-hmm. But we haven't understood it. We have understood, the matter is a form of energy, but we haven't understood what it really means. It means that, in fact, everything is an energy. And we are really working with energies, not with just matter, dead matter. And that understanding is the antimatter that, Rav Berg was also talking about.
Wow, great. The 2023 leads us to completely new changes in beginning in 24. What important changes do you see that humanity needs to undergo, and what planets can give us the energy to do so? Because as we know, planets are not making us do things. they give us a support, they give us an energy. So what are the changes that we should go through so we can be ready to this new millennium of Pluto in Aquarius in 24?
Okay, so quite a few things. First of all, the spirit of the collective. And let's for a moment, like rewind our movie and take a look at pre-pandemic, okay? Pre-pandemic world, because now we are post-pandemic. So pre-pandemic world, everybody goes to work, okay? Yeah, we have the internet, we post, etc., but we have our routine, we go, we have our, corner, we have our office, we have our desk, and, pretty much we are in social media. We meet maybe some people, we look for soulmates on social media. But we have our own routine. Pandemic hit. What happened? Suddenly, you're not going anywhere, right? You're sitting like a duck with yourself. And I know that, in Russia has been a little bit more user-friendly because, Russia didn't stay for very, very long time with, COVID restrictions. There was for a while, but not a long time. But take a look at Europe, okay? Take a look at China. China is still under COVID, under COVID law, right? It's still under COVID law. They're still in quarantine. And United Kingdom, most of 2021 was under COVID law. You couldn't, come out. You had to have 6 feet, right? So what happened? Okay, what happened during that time? The only choice we had in order to still be a society and not completely shoot a bullet in our brain was to go on the internet, maneuver all our works in Zoom, right? It's the boom of Zoom, right?
Exactly.
Zoom went boom, like literally. So everybody's on Zoom. And of course, we as Kabbala centers, right, we have a lot of students that come and sit. And of course, we missed a lot the social contact. But everybody adjusted to a reality in which we are virtual. We were virtual and very much material. But then, 2020, you're completely virtual. You're completely virtual. You have to travel with your mind. We still have travel restrictions. In some countries, you cannot get into the country unless you are vaccinated. We still are under travel restrictions, right? So people stop traveling. So they start traveling with their mind. What does it say from the cosmos? I can be in many places at the same time, right? So it forced us to be more flexible. We're still seeing a lot of effects, yes? All the restrictions are not done yet. We still are, in a way, in the consequences of what COVID brought. But it's a huge lesson for all of humanity, a huge lesson, feeling that, being alone, individual, it doesn't feel so good. I think that it made us all appreciate, social contacts, appreciate family, appreciate the people that we love and really wanting to be closer to them, So I think it did a lot. We don't know yet. We're still in the beginning of the aftermath. But it taught us already many, many valuable questions. And that's many valuable lessons. And that's, Pluto in Aquarius, Uranus in Gemini, the real communication, the communication that has nothing to do with something physical, the ability to teleport ourselves. At this, Elon Musk with let's go on other planets.
Mars, I think.
Mars,
to go on Mars.
spaceship, yes? All these spaceships, Star Trek, maybe teleportation, right? We can do it. Everybody knows it's possible. We just don't know how to control the matter in order to do so, okay? So it opened up, even in the realm of science, a lot of brand new ideas that perhaps we wouldn't have pursued under other circumstances.
So what are we to expect from the 24? If we do our work, if we raise our consciousness, if we become more mindful in everything we do, if we learn to control the matter and not to allow matter and physical and material control us, how the life is going to look like in 24 if we'll follow those advices?
Okay, 2023, literally, I explained it many times. It's like one of those sport contests. You know the fun sport contest?
Ninja.
Where the ninja. Exactly. It's like a ninja year where you climb on the cord and then you have to go on those things that are moving. So 2023 is a year that we're going to need to adapt a lot. Mentally, it might be just mental adaptation. It can be mental and physical adaptation. We need to adapt. Like things are shifting. We can see it. The way that we behaved until now is no longer working. Okay, you can see, by the way, and I was so surprised because we partly live in London and we come to Moscow. We visiting many countries anyway because we have family everywhere. With great surprise, I realized all the buildings of the banks, beautiful bank buildings, the beautiful buildings of the post office in Manhattan, completely empty. Completely empty. You have this big, amazing representation of this is the bank. This is what we stand for. This is the post office. This is what we stand for. This is the company. That's what we stand for. You come in, it's empty. 90% of the personnel is now working online. So you have a bunch of empty buildings, by the way, everywhere. Manhattan is half empty. London, the banks are deserted completely, and the big buildings totally deserted. People have started to understand, I've been coming to the rat race all these years, the subway and the bus and and the train and whatnot, and just like every morning going running like a lunatic to get work. Wait, better quality of life. Now we come 3 times a week. They are voting these laws as we speak. Now we come 3 times a week, meaning I don't anymore have the waste of time, right? I don't have the friction, the heaviness, the gravity. I can be from here, from my armchair. I can be from my home in China. I can be from my home anywhere in the world, right? So, in a way, this adjustment showed us, why do you need the buildings for? To close businesses, to make deals happen? You need a computer. What building do you need? Who cares? Right? Who cares? In the Kabbalah Center, most of the students online. Yeah, we have people coming because it's important to have social contacts. Listen, we are social people. On the contrary, we should be feeling closer. But it's not anymore imposed on us that we have to come and sit. No. See, the matter is already obsolete. It's already, showing you, forget it.
So I have another question that I was thinking, should I ask it or not? But we experience not very positive things that are still happening in the world. Even though, as you say, humanity did not learn, but still there are conflicts all over the world where unfortunately people get hurt, people are dying, and we tend to focus on particular areas, but I know for the fact that things are happening everywhere. I mean, it's just something we don't know about. So how the 23 is going to change that? How the 23 year is going to help people to start thinking before you raise your hand and you slap someone, even if you don't agree, it's probably not a good idea.
Listen, we can only change the world one person at a time, okay? And the Kabbalists explain beautifully that there are 2 versions of ourselves. There is the proactive version, the version of the individual that says, you know, let me think, let me make an effort, let me get out of my comfort zone, let me try to explain, let me try to sit, let me try to find a solution. And there is the very primitive version of the human being, which is reactive, like a Rottweiler dog. They took my plate. I'm going to bite now. Yeah? You see that all the time. You have road rage. We lose it. My mother again told me that I don't look good. I'm upset. Why is she saying this to me, right? So this reactive behavior, this reactive version of humankind, we need to understand this is the animal version of humankind. And that's the reason why Kabbalists have been fighting for a millennium to express this. If we want to stop big conflict in the world, we have to stop the small conflict which are happening in every home, in every one of our families. I'm not talking to the great aunt, and I'm not talking to my brother, and I'm upset with my husband, and I'm gonna slap my kid, right? This is how it ripples, okay? What creates a ripple? You throw a stone in a river. The point of impact, which is me, I'm getting upset. Oh, take a look. This is how it works energetically. How do you change people? One person at a time. And I'm extremely happy to say that since the pandemic, tens of thousands of people, if not hundreds of thousands of people, already have been privy to the knowledge of Kabbala, Kabbalistic astrology. We had hundreds of thousands of students just in the past 2.5 years that already heard, hey, you are the point of impact. Stop talking about what's going on in this government, that government. Take a look at your own government. Are you controlling yourself? Are you ruling over your own kingdom? Your own kingdom, it's your family. It's your loved ones. It's your husband, your children, your parents, your siblings. What are you doing there? You want to stop conflicts in the whole world? Stop the conflict in your family. You do that, for sure, the ripple will go far enough to inspire whoever at the moment is in charge to change the way they think, to change the way they handle the situation. Because in the end of the day, understand, everybody is right. I would say you want to change the world, sort out the microcosmos, work on yourself, work on your family, have harmony, start spreading that, and the ripple soon enough will be seen for the entire world. There's no question.
So if we to wrap up our conversation about what awaits us in the future, what would be suggestions that you would give to our listeners to how we should proceed this year, what we should be mindful towards, like what should we direct our attention towards, so we know that the actions that we do create positive ripple effects all over the globe?
Well, I would say that because this year is transitional, the most important things for the people that are listening, it's to receive messages and write them down. Like, imagine this year being an adventure. An adventure, because a lot of different things are not happening the way that they were in the past. So to notice how we respond to it, to be curious about how we feel about the circumstances, what it awakes in us. And for sure, whatever you are doing for a living, don't engrave it in stone. Be ready to change, alter, shift. Be ready to adapt Become more flexible. Be less attached to the matter. Be less attached to material consequences. Oh, I can't buy the Mercedes I wanted this year. You still have a car, doesn't matter. You still have trains, you still can get to the destination you want. Let it go. Let it go. Focus on learning more. I would say to every individual, focus on upgrading your learning. Okay? Let's say you have a BA in whatever subject. Get your master's degree. Get it online. Get, I would say, understand better. Get fluent in the new language, which is the language of the internet, the language of artificial intelligence, the language of seeing the world as a much bigger picture. You know, like really open yourself up, see the world, travel places, you know, understand what messages are coming your way. But definitely, definitely educate yourself personally, educate yourself in spirituality, like really like open the closed doors of your heart that you already know, and you already have your own principles in life. And that's also the you know, the energy of Capricorn, Taurus. Yes, my principles are already engraved in stone. They don't work anymore. Adjust. Adjust your view to the world, adjust your principles, adjust the way that you live your life in a much more universal way, in a much more friendly and like really human. Be more humanistic. If you do all of that, then 2023 is a piece of cake for you, okay? And the next coming years will be even better, because this is where humanity is evolving and you'll already be there. So use 2023 to get more miles, you know, the ones at least that are listening, and of course pass the word, yeah? But the ones that are listening, use this year to like really educate, open your mind, open your heart, be more patient, be more attentive, you know, be more sensitive, be more refined in your understanding, and listen to the messages. Listen to not what is talked about in the news, which are all fake. Listen to what is not said. Because oftentimes the most important message is unsaid. So like really develop your new you, your new intuitive spiritual self. That's what I would recommend. And then really, 2023 will be a piece of cake and the rest will be fine. You'll know what to do and how to adjust.
Thank you so much, Yael. It was very interesting and very refreshing. And I'm happy that you found the time for us to record this video. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much, Nechama. Always a pleasure.
Друзья, я надеюсь, что вам понравился этот выпуск, поэтому подписывайтесь на наш канал, жмите на колокольчик, чтобы получать информацию о новых выпусках. Как всегда, мы ждем ваших замечательных комментариев. И если вам это понравилось, и вам понравилось это сознание и новый настрой на ближайший год и на новую эру Водолея, то поделитесь этим видео с вашими друзьями. Спасибо вам и до новых встреч!
By energy, right?
Yeah.
It says that it's unbelievable.
Yeah?